India must be very careful about how it navigates its ascension to the status of a truly global power. There is a growing movement in India, a movement which has rather concrete ideas about what it means to be Indian. The debate around what it means to be an Indian has been around since the country's independence in 1947. However, it definitely has taken on a new dimension since Modi's election in 2014. So the situation that occurred earlier this week was when a large segment left midway through an A.R. Rahman concert. Now, having audience members leave midway through a concert is something I'm sure many performers are accustomed to. However, the reason given by spectators for walking out was that A.R. Rahman started singing in Tamil as opposed to the national language of India, which is Hindi, of course. Just to give you an idea of the stature of the performer A.R. Rahman, he is a singer that has been given the highest national award of India, been nominated for Academy Awards, and has been included on the Time 100 list of the most influential people. So the threshold for walking out of one of his concerts must be extremely high. So what is it about singing in Tamil that was so offensive? People's grievances lie at the fact that much of A.R. Rahman's more infamous portfolio is in Hindi. However, he is ethnically Tamil, and much of his earlier work was also in Tamil. At the concert, he chose to perform many of the Tamil language songs which made him famous originally. This was much to the fury of many spectators. I think the message that sends is quite concerning. India is a vast country, with 1.2 billion people, 22 regions, and over 1,600 languages if you include dialects. 122 if you don't. Now, this diversity has been traditionally a source of India's strength, but has come under the spotlight recently. Since the election of Narendra Modi and his Hindu nationalist government in 2014, there has been an assertion of a more fixed version of Indian identity. This has been more closely associated with Hinduism and Hindu culture. Now, it may be a stretch to associate the walking out of spectators from an A.R. Rahman concert as symptomatic of Hindu nationalism. However, it is fair to say that it is interesting to note that the largely Indian and Hindi-speaking audience did not view the Tamil songs sung by one of India's most noteworthy singers as worth their time, and showed him the disrespect of walking out. It wasn't Indian enough. I think the signal that this sends the 61 million Tamils in India is concerning. Has Modi's government made it acceptable to suggest that being Indian has a preferred form? Moving away from Rahman's concert slightly, there have been concerns from the beginning about Modi's ability and his government's ability to be representative for all of India. After all, he does lead a Hindu nationalist party. This is largely to do with Modi's old performance during his stint as governor of Gujarat, where 1,000 Muslims died during intercommunal violence. His involvement has been disputed. However, concerns are also raised because of Modi's membership and long-lasting loyalty to various organizations. This includes the RSS, or the National Voluntary Organization. This is very closely linked to the BJP, which is of course Modi's party. The RSS's overarching goal is to see a united India consisting of Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, all guided by the Hindu Rashtra, or the Hindu nation. Now, this organization has a long history of being banned due to its extreme rhetoric and paramilitary ties, the first of which was during British rule, but has been banned thrice during post-independence India. It may be interesting to note at this juncture that it was the RSS that assassinated Gandhi, who professed a non-violent strand of Hinduism. However, has Modi's questionable associations translated into a more divided India? Well, in short, yes. Earlier this week, India's Supreme Court put a halt to the controversial government policy of aged cattle slaughter. Extremist Hindu vigilantes have also killed 28 Muslims since 2010 and carried out extremely socially conservative clamping down. For example, individuals associated with the RSS targeted a cafe in 2015 simply because a couple had been seen kissing there. To many, the idea of India is a testament to the ability of disparate peoples, cultures, and religions to come together under the banner of India in the world's largest democracy. After all, Abdul Kalam, a very respected figure, was a Muslim president in the early 2000s, and even Manmohan Singh was the previous Prime Minister before Modi, and he was a Sikh. However, something is happening in India. A recent RSS leader said those who eat beef have no human rights. Now that is rhetoric that was not previously seen and has not been seen since independence. There was also the case of Junaid Khan, who was stabbed to death on a train after buying Eid clothes. India is sliding towards the politics of exclusion, and that is an affront to the principles it was built upon. We must have India ascend to the status of a global power with as broad a platform as possible. And this politics of exclusion is a distraction. Modi should stop the business of his government being swamped in meaningless and inane cultural and communal issues and focus on building a better India for all with economic policy. It is fair to say that if he was to dissociate himself from the RSS, that would put a lot of minorities at ease. Many critics of Modi say that he is fostering an environment in which Hinduism will be preferred over other religions and a secular state will no longer exist. Intercommunal violence has been a staple of many post-colonial societies, with the various ethnicities, nationalities fighting amongst themselves post-independence. I think the idea of India was to pave over those differences and to build a country founded on unity. It's important that India lives up to that unity by not marginalizing groups or people based on their religion or their ethnicity or their language.